Hi guys, welcome to or welcome back to Cooking with Pouncy. So glad you came back if you did, and so glad you stopped by if you just dropped by. Please hit that like button if you like what you see, and please subscribe. I would certainly appreciate that to my channel if you have a mind to do so, and pass this on to others as you see fit. So I'm going to be doing some pork cube steaks. It's going to be smothered in gravy with onions, and I might throw some mushrooms in there, etc., etc. All right, guys, we're back to continue the process here with these pork cube steaks that I just told you about. These things, you guys might have seen them before, and they are called pork cube steaks. I've got two of them. There's two in each package, rather. I've got two packages, and there's 4 in there. They're pretty thin, and what I'm going to do is dredge them in flour, and I have some all-purpose flour here, a little garlic salt, a bit of salt and pepper as well. This is coarse ground black pepper, so I've got salt, garlic salt, black pepper. This is regular salt, regular iodized salt. You could certainly use any salt of your choice. It could be sea salt or kosher salt as well, okay? I'm going to top the thing off with a little garnishing of some parsley flakes when I'm done with this. I think I'm going to put about half of this can, it's a 14-ounce can of diced tomatoes, okay? About half of this I'll be putting in it. The actual ingredients will be in the ingredient list for you as well. I'm taking a gander to see what I might be missing. I have an onion here, medium onion. I'm going to dice this onion up for that gravy. Some chicken stock for my liquid in my gravy. I could use beef stock. I prefer chicken stock, certainly not water. Watch your sodium content when you start doing this process here, right? My vegetable will be asparagus. I got some fresh asparagus here in this pan, and I'm gonna pan sear these. I'll show you that process. I'm going to pan sear these in some olive oil, all right? Just a little bit. I'll probably have maybe a tablespoon of olive oil in that whole process when I pan sear these. I'm going to season them as well. Let's proceed on with this process. I'm going to move this aside. I haven't opened those yet. I'm going to go ahead and dice that onion up. I'm being careful, guys, because of course all this is about not cross-contaminating as well. I'm going to put some flour on this platter to have some flour to dredge my cutlets in. Okay, I'm calling them cutlets now. Okay, and my little cube steaks. All right, that's probably a cup and a half, maybe. No, it's not even a cup and a half. That's all I got in there. Probably a cup, a good cup. All right. So let's put that there. And let's take and open these. Okay. This is very simple. What I'm going to do now too, guys, I'm going to turn my burner on. I've got my Dutch oven over here. This could go in the oven, but I'm not going to put it in the oven. And let's get the covers off of these. And we're going to season them up here. With a little salt and pepper and stuff. And I'm trying to be as careful as I can. And again, it's all about not cross-contaminating, guys, and you can't do that. So, having said that, my gloves come off. And I changed my glove, and I'm going to let you see that process too. oil. It's going to be equivalent to about 2 tablespoons as I indicated. And my oven here, Dutch oven. And that's going to be enough right there. I'll need a bit more than that in here when I get ready to make my gravy. But all I need now just to braise these off is that amount that I just put in. And again, so let's do this now. This is called dredging it. And I'm going to press the flour into these. The flour retards the shrinkage of them as well, guys, okay? So I'm really pressing it pretty hard in there. So I'm going to lay that into the side. These are ready to be braised off. Oil is hot. And here goes our little cube steaks. And we're going to do these. I'm going to have to do just 2 at a time, okay? And that's okay, because that oven cooker, that oven is not that big. And that's okay. I'm just going to do 2, and I'll do the other 2 once these are brown, all right? Thank you. So we got our meat already braised off here, and here they are, looking good. All right, they're not done; they're brown, and that's what I wanted to attain. If you don't brown them or braise them first, they're like gray looking. You don't want them gray colored. You want them to have a brownness on them, and the gravy's going to be brown as well. The gravy won't brown them. You have to brown them separately. All right. And again, they're going to go back in the gravy, and you'll be seeing that because I got my oil in here. This was it was pretty dry because I only had about 2 tablespoons of oil in there, and so I added another couple of tablespoons of oil. And so we're going to take our flour. It's the same flour that I dredged the meat in a while ago, and we're going to start adding that to our grease here, oil here, and we're making a roux is what we're going to be calling this. All right. Really good. All right, so we're going to add our kitchen bouquet just to color, like I said. You can put too much kitchen bouquet in and now it's too dark. You don't want it like that either. I can't even, there's less than a teaspoon in here right now. I know there's, because I'm feeling it. I'm almost not feeling it. All right, so here we go. I'm going to just put, if you see what I'm doing here, just a little, that's a little. That was maybe a teaspoon. I'm going to be adding more. Well, let's call it a teaspoon and a half then. All right, that's good. I'm going to actually put a little bit more. I won't have to open that other little bottle I've got either, because I know that that little bit remaining in there is going to be enough. I think you can see that, yes. So let's go with a little bit more. And there it is. That's about what I need right there, what I want, I should say. You can make yours as dark as you want, or light, or not even use the kitchen bouquet. But I want some nice color in there, so that's why I did that. So, now I'm going to add my little pepper and salt that I showed you earlier as well. And not too much. Watch your salt. And this is just to taste. Remember the meat's got salt in it. This garlic salt is salt. Not a lot, just to taste. And some black pepper. Again to taste. And that's about it for that deal. And it's pretty thick. And I'm going to be using a bit more of that chicken stock, because I don't want it that thick. And I'll show you that, if I can show you the thickness of it right now. And again, because I'm ad-libbing, I'll be putting more, not only the stock. It's pretty thick now, guys. See that? Pretty thick. I'm so proud of it. There's no lumps in it or nothing, like I knew there wouldn't be, but there you have it. There, okay? We're going to add a little bit more of this chicken stock. I got another container here. And that's what we can do with that. Let that be. You don't want to get it too thin, because all of a sudden you got to try to thicken it you don't want to get too thin, because all of a sudden you got it too thin. Now you're trying to thicken it again, and that's a bummer, because now you got to probably wind up putting cornstarch in there to tighten it up, or some raw flour with water, or chicken base, but you don't want to do that, okay? And that's about all I need right there. And I'm going to darken it up just a little bit more, because I'm doing it by sight, but I kind of know what color I want. It's kind of a nice caramel color, right? I don't know whether it's caramel or not, but that's a nice color. And I'm going to taste it a little bit here, just a tad, to see if I got the right amount of salt and pepper in there. It's okay for salt, and I'm going to leave it right there. No more salt. Again, guys, as you know, the meat's got salt on it as well. I'm going to now add my onions and some tomatoes. Well, that's another point I wanted to make to you too. I said I was going to use half of this can of tomatoes, and I will. However, I don't want all the water out of there, because that water will, of course, thin my gravy more than I want it to. So let's do this, because this can's got a lot of water in it. We're just going to put some tomatoes in there. And again, I think I'll use about half of this can of tomatoes. I'm actually kind of squeezing them, because I don't want any more water than I want in there, which is when I've already added my chicken stock, right? And that's about half that can. A little bit more right here. That's it. All right? I used half of the can. So, let's give that a little stir. Let's give that a little stir. And I think I'll put my onions in there now. That's that medium onion. Again, that onion is going to get very tender as that meat cooks, because I'm going to set the timer for about, I'm going to say 45 minutes, but I'm going to cover it as well. This won't cook. This will not cook over an hour. That meat will almost fall apart if I cooked it over an hour. Probably not, but you don't need to, okay? So let's put our meat back in there, right on top of the rest of the goodies, underneath the gravy. I'm going to take it and Work it under the gravy. See, all 4 of them will get in there now, as they didn't before when I was braising it off because there was no room. But now I've got gravy and I can actually stack them on top of each other because that gravy will coat each one of them, all right? And that's what we want. Looks like I got just the right amount of gravy in here too. So we have the makings of some cube steak or Swiss steak, whatever we want to call it here. And there it is. Okay, we're going to let that simmer. And again, I'm going to set my timer for 45 minutes. And then at some point, we're going to come back and we're going to do our pan-seared asparagus. Down to simmer now, guys. Again, that's going to be up here simmering for about 45 minutes. And I'm going to just cover it and let it do its thing. Again, I could have put the whole thing in the oven, but you don't really have to. That meat is so tender, so I'm just going to let it do its thing for 45 minutes. I'll take another peek at it in a little bit here, well, probably a half hour, and it'll be well under its way to getting done. And we'll do our asparagus, and we'll just keep moving. So I'll be back. This is about ready. We're coming up on, I'm coming up on about 40 minutes of cook time here, and it's really, really, really looking good. I think you can see that. You can certainly hear it bubbling. And it looks really, really good. Really good, really good. Okay, so let me just kind of give it a little stir maybe. Go to the bottom there. It looks good. The gravy's got great consistency, great color, of course. And that meat, of course, again, is going to be very, very tender, okay? And again, per my earlier setting, I set it for 45 minutes. And I'm going to let it go. It's ready now, actually, but I'm going to let it go for another 10 minutes again. I also decided to, this little cute thing right here, saucepan with rice. I thought I'd just abandon that idea that I had with my other potatoes that I had. I think I'll do some rice. I'll serve this with rice, which is fine. We got our pan ready here for our asparagus that we're going to sear. And I'm going to do a little rough calculation in my brain here with how much we're going to put in here. We don't need a lot. I want to say, yes, 1 teaspoon, 2 teaspoons, 3 teaspoons. Let's say 3. That's 3 teaspoons, okay? Let that oil get hot, and then I'll be shaking it and spreading them out so they won't, a couple of them will be touching, but for the most part, they'll be spread out in the pan, okay? And I'll be coating them with that oil. That 3 teaspoons of oil is all you need, all right? And then we'll start adding our spices in there. I got some crushed red pepper flakes. Excuse me. There's that salt again. Watch your sodium content, guys. I am sprinkle a little bit of black pepper on them. And again, the key is not to overcook them. Leave them al dente. And almost to where they snap. That's perfect. This one's called Meat Magic, and I use it on my vegetables. I'll be putting it on these asparagus. Not all my vegetables, but I'll be putting it on these asparagus as I get those things pan-seared. Great flavor. It won't take the flavor away from the asparagus, and asparagus are great anyway to begin with. But again, I'll be using a little of that Meat Magic on there, and I probably won't put any additional salt on top of the Meat Magic because the Meat Magic, of course, has salt in it as well. So that's probably what I'll do, guys. Move that other pot over there so you could see this, what I'm doing here with these asparagus, and I think you can see this. All right, that's all. A little bit more because I shook them up a little bit. You don't need too much. All right, that's all I need right there. All right. Now that sound that you just heard is actually my plates that are in the oven getting hot. I'm going to shut this off now. The meat. Take it all the way down to low because it doesn't have to bubble anymore. It's all done. It's ready to go right now. A little bit. That's all you can do is toss them around just a little bit. Just a little bit. And you don't have to get any color on them. You just want to make sure you don't overcook them. Okay. these have been cooking about 3 minutes, and that's all you need. I'm going to shut the heat off right now, again, because I don't want to overcook those. I want them to be al dente, and they are right now. Excuse me. They are right now, okay? I need to be careful, even when I shut this off, to take it off the burner, because this is an electric range, and you know what happens when you shut it off. It still cooks for like a half hour. Anyway, those are ready. Here's the meat, it's ready. My little rice pot is ready. Here we go. Here's our meat. Looks good, smells good. It's going to taste really good as well. Our asparagus are all done. My little pot of rice here is done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to plate one of these up for you. And I just followed the directions on the box of rice to make the rice. So let's just plate one of these up. Again. I mean, let's let that be enough rice. And then let's come over here with one of these little guys. It really smells good, guys. My goodness. Oh, look at that. Plates are hot. Remember I told you I put them in the oven. I usually do that with all of my plates. And let's kind of leave the rice showing a little bit on that one as we do that. Okay. Let's do that. And then we're going to take our tongs and let's put a little bit of asparagus right here. Just for the heck of it. Like I said, I've done these with black-eyed peas. I've done it with green beans. Let's put a couple of these right here. What do you say? And again, they're nice and crunchy. I like asparagus. I hope you guys like them too. Don't balk at it. If you haven't tried it, you just got to try it one time, guys, please. And I know you'll like it a lot. So I'm going to come over here again with a little bit of gravy on this meat here, just a little bit. I don't want to make it sloppy. I got some gravy in there, some onions and stuff is in there too. So let's kind of have a little bit here. Spill onto the rice just a little bit. And that's going to be enough right there, okay? So anyway, guys, that's what it's going to look like. I can't even touch these plates because they're very hot. As I indicated, I put them in the oven. And that's the finished product. So, again, they're hot. Here we go. In case you can't see it, I'll hold it up for you, okay? That's the finished one. That's what it looks like. So we're going to call this Swiss steak, all right? With onions and tomatoes. There's our rice, and there's our wonderful, crunchy, al dente asparagus. We're going to enjoy this a lot, guys, and thank you so much once again for tuning in to Cooking with Pouncy. I certainly hope, if you have a mind to, that you'll subscribe, hit that like button if you like what you see, and let me know what you think as well. And again, guys, I hope when you make this, if you do, for your family, that you guys will enjoy it as much as we're going to enjoy this scrumptious dinner. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much.